Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So as usual, let's just get right into it. If you guys enjoy, find them useful, the videos, information, whatever, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm gonna try getting the numbers right this time. I don't know what, I don't know how I kept getting them wrong. Kept saying the wrong numbers. It's kind of cringe. Anyways, let's get this into this analysis. Now, this is gonna be a fairly simple one. There's really not much to talk about. Pretty much today happened essentially pretty close to what I predicted, right? Yesterday I said how I believe Tesla, let's go on the 1 hour for now. Actually, let's go on the 30-minute for now. The market's about to close in like 1 minute, so it's not going to change much from here. But essentially, I was saying how I wouldn't be surprised if in the morning we get a small little flush to the downside to the 880, 885. That's essentially what I said yesterday, and we got pretty close to that. We got to 888 is what we got to. That was the flush, and then we kind of rebounded instantly off of that. The second we went above 100 and held above it. It was a good sign. Essentially, the way you want to look at it is the second we flushed down to the 888 rough area here, came back over 100 or 900, and then fell back down. And the second this happened right here is a really good sign. The second you see this like bounce like this and we kind of maintain that 900 level, extremely positive sign. And the fact that it happened again and again is also quite positive. Now, that's not to say that, we'll never go back under a 900 again. Like tomorrow, keep in mind, is a big day. At 2 p.m. is the FOMC meeting, and is the day where they're going to essentially announce the rate hikes that they're going to be doing, which of course should be 50, right? If it's anything lower than 50, we're completely off to the moon. If it's 50, we're still probably going to go up because that's good, because it's, there's not like a rug pull, there's nothing like spooky essentially happening or unexpected. You have to keep in mind, guys, people always forget the market is all about unexpected stuff. If things are expected, if they happen as expected, then in this specific sense, it's a good thing. It's a good thing with the Fed. Usually if something happens with the Fed that's expected, that's a positive. If something happens unexpectedly bad, that's a bad sign. So essentially, if we go to like somehow 75 a basis point in the hike tomorrow, that's bad. And we're going to fall. I don't think that'll happen. And as long as they don't say anything about a 75 basis point hike in the next meeting, that's also good. But regardless, essentially what I'm expecting tomorrow, guys, pretty simple stuff. I really do think 900 will hold. If we fall below 900, essentially I don't want to fall lower than what we fell this morning, which is around that 888 level. I essentially just don't want to see anything below that, and especially below 880. 880, absolutely. I don't want to see that break like at all. Like 880 roughly, that needs to hold. That's like by far the most important level. If that breaks, then this whole like potential uptrend that we have setting up here essentially falls apart. So ideally 888, but like 880 is like that thing better hold. Like that really just that cannot break. That'll be really bad. So that's essentially the main thing I'm looking for there. And now in terms of the upside, right, you want to see like, okay, well, what's going to make us move over to the upside? Well, it's pretty simple too. So you can see here, on the 1 hour time frame, we never really had like a solid close above this kind of general level right here, which is essentially like 918 to 920, somewhere in that level, right? Like we never had like a solid, like we went over it several times, but we got rejected several times. So that's usually a bad thing. But the good thing is the fact that every time we get rejected and fall lower, we're falling less lower essentially. Like we're making higher lows. Like we got rejected here essentially. We fell down all the way down to 820. Went back up, got rejected again. This time we fell back down to like the 850 to 860 area. Went back up, got rejected again. And this time we apparently held 900. We're constantly making lower or higher lows, which is really, really good. So which is essentially what I want to consistently see. If we ever make a lower low, then that essentially starts, pretty much potentially breaking apart this whole situation that we have. And essentially what I expect to happen, guys, and what I'm thinking will happen, and a way to confirm it to be essentially set in motion, is if we ever get like about a 1 hour, the higher the time frame the better, but for now we can go with a 1 hour candle that closes above about 920 to be safe. Let's just say 920. Fantastic. That is fantastic news, and I really think that that's going to be the catalyst that'll probably start pushing us to the upside. Now again, the upside I personally see, guys, like I was saying several times, is going to be probably at the very least to this box area ish. So 940 might give us a tiny bit of resistance initially. I do think that might happen, but I also think that as long as we break 940, don't forget that volume profile I showed you guys yesterday. Let me go ahead and bring that up one more time. Wait, what? Why can't I see it? I have like no indicators. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me go ahead and, oh, it's right here. Nice, perfect. Anyways, So as I was talking about yesterday, the volume profile, right? So you can see here pretty much essentially as we break like 940 to 945, the second we break through that, we pretty much have smooth sailing back up to this resistance all the way up here at like 970. So I would look at that, right? The second we break 920 and we close it, and we hold it, or we close a candle like a 1 hour or higher time frame candle above that 920 level, as long as that happens, that's step one. Then we start looking for 940 to 945, which is again, the last kind of section of this high volume profile, which essentially just implies that there's a lot of, people essentially just trading shares. In this case, it'll be a selling situation as opposed to a buying situation. You can look at this as support and resistance. If we're below it, going up to it, it's resistance, and on the vice versa, if we're going down to it, support. That's the way you want to look at that essentially. But yeah, that's essentially how I'm seeing, guys. So again, 920. Nice solid break above that and hold. Boom. Off to 940 to 945. Might give us a little bit of rejection potentially. But as long as we break 940 to 945 and we can, get a nice solid break above that, I think it should be smooth sailing up to 970. And that, I think, is where we're really going to have some issues. And I don't think we're going to go much above that. We might go a tiny bit above that. I think the realistic, like best case scenario, in my opinion, is 1,000. I don't think we'll get there, but it's definitely possible. That's like the realistic best case scenario, like short term, of course. But the realistic scenario, I would say it's 970. That I personally would expect that to happen. And yeah, and essentially, guys, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. There's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I'm not going to show the other indicators. There's not really much change. I mean, we can take a look at the Bollinger Bands. I do like the Bollinger Bands. You guys know that. And it's essentially still showing exactly what I said. You can see the white here is kind of curving down to that 970 level. Exactly how I think it's going to play out. Again, I'm almost positive. It feels like it almost feels too obvious, but it really just feels like we're going to rally up to 970. It lines up with this perfect resistance and the white part of this Bollinger Band, which you can see does act as this resistance if you're below it. At times, you can see like several times we're below it, keeps kind of rejecting us, right? And yeah, I would, that's essentially what I would expect to see. I would expect to see us pretty much get up to this general level of 970 and most likely get rejected. And then we'll see what happens from there. But that's essentially my current analysis, guys. That is what I'm seeing. Pretty simple stuff, nothing too crazy. It's just essentially we're just following exactly what I've been predicting for the last few days. And it's just nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing surprising is happening. Nothing that I'm not expecting is happening. And the market is pretty much just straight sideways today. I mean, Tesla ending the day just up like 0.7%, not a whole lot, $909, which is, pretty good, not bad. It's okay. But yeah, it's just a sideways market today because we're essentially waiting for the FOMC meeting tomorrow. And, I guess that like somewhat uncertainty to go away, which I think will be overall a plus for the short term. And I think we'll get a nice little rally off of it. Like if you look at the indices as well, guys, the indices look pretty decent actually, right? You can see the SPY over here, solid fall down to this 405 level, which actually is a decent support area. You can see, right? All the way back here on the weekly chart, you can see several times we touched the point there as well. And, it acted as a support, same thing here. Essentially the same thing happened here, which is good. We bounced off of that, came back above this box, which I want to see above it, setting up a decent inverted head and shoulders ish here, which is not too bad. We're actually maintaining above the box. Now you can see bouncing off of it several times, which is great. QQQ, very similar concept, right? And yeah, I don't know, the market looks good. The market looks poised for a move upwards. It really does. There's obviously a chance that something happens tomorrow that's unexpected and we fall down. Definitely a chance for that. Don't get me wrong. That's always in the cards. But I definitely think the odds are in the favor of us rallying upwards rather than rallying back down. That is my current analysis, guys. That is what I'm predicting. And yeah, I would genuinely be surprised if we don't see Tesla at the very least touch 940. Like at the very least touch 940, but most likely touch 970. Probably at the end of this week sometime, maybe Thursday, maybe maybe tomorrow, honestly. Probably Thursday, maybe Friday, but probably Thursday. And yeah, that's essentially what I'm seeing, guys. Let me know what you think down below. If you guys enjoy these videos, don't forget to hit that like button. Hopefully this time I said all the numbers correctly. I apologize for that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.